I think I need to do like some sort of system update as to how I respond to the question, what kind of music do you like? Because I've always had a problem defining or describing the type of music that I like or the genres or whatever. But it's like some of the responses that I get are, or that I give are still like outdated, like high school mentality. Um, like answers. Like like back in high school, I was really zoning in on like Rush and Genesis and Yes and sort of progressive rock, borderline jazz fusion, but that was more so like college age. So like nowadays, someone will ask me the question like, "Oh, what music do you like?" And I have done some sort of a system reboot where I'm like, "Oh, I like more of like jazz funky stuff." But then if someone asks me like, "Oh, what's your favorite artist?" then I'll still resort back to like, oh, I love, Neil Peart. He was my biggest idol, and like I really love, Genesis. So those two answers are very different, going from jazz to, progressive rock. And I think part of that is because like back in high school, I was listening to more like full albums when I was actually like researching, and getting into new music. And nowadays with like jazz and funk, I'm more particular into the types of jazz and funk. So I'll be in love with like one song on a Herbie Hancock album and nothing else. Um, just for an example. So I think maybe in my brain it's still easier for me to be like, oh, I'll say Genesis because I'll listen to a full Genesis album and think the whole thing is gold. But that also that also doesn't make Genesis inherently the best in my brain just because if there's it only takes one really special song that an artist makes for me to consider that artist, amazing or legendary or one of my favorites. Someone asked me, I think recently, like, "Oh, what's your favorite artist?" or something like that, and I name dropped Genesis, but I forgot to name drop people like Frank Zappa, Bernard Purdy, Herbie Hancock, things like that, where like artists that are actually more frequent in my playlists nowadays. Or like Sierra Farrell. Oh, I'm in love with Sierra Farrell. Despite the fact that I don't care for country or folk really in the slightest, she's got a voice of gold. Ugh, liquid gold. But still, when people ask me about favorite artists, I'm saying artists, from that I was listening to majoritively like back in high school. Um, so it's a I don't know, it's a curious thing. It's like I have to sit down for a solid like hour or two and like write down my answers. Um, that